it is possible for you to honestly reflect this eternal expectation, because your life didn't just come from you. There is an expectation on your head. All right. So I want you to understand that there is an eternal expectation for the life of every man. And unfortunately, many people have lived, and they are living their lives without reflecting these eternal expectations for their lives. Okay, so it's so unfortunate that we wake up in the morning and we're not even interested about the expectations of the Spirit for our lives. We wake up and we are not even interested with what the Spirit will have us do, or with what the Spirit is expecting of us. And believe you me, it is extremely detrimental to live a life in that light. Okay, it is too detrimental. All right, so I tell you the truth, there is an expectation, and much has been given to you as a believer. Okay, and because much has been given to you, much is expected, and you are aware with this adage that goes, to whom much is given, much is expected. A lot has been given to you as a believer. Now, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he came, and he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever will believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life. I tell you the truth, there is so much more. There's so much that has been entrusted into your care. There is so much that has been given to you sincerely. There's a lot that has been given to you. I mean, salvation is a lot already, and then you must live your life reflecting this essence. You must live your life being grateful to God for this he has given to you. All right, so I want you to understand that to every believer, the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary is that very much that has been given to you. And I will ask again, will you allow this very sacrifice to waste in time? Oh, this is so interesting. Are you going to allow the sacrifice of Jesus Christ to waste in time? Are you going to allow all that Jesus Christ came to do to waste in time? Child of God, there is so much more. There is so much more that you are supposed to do in time than just waking up, eating, going to work, marrying, giving to marriage, and so on and so forth. Buying your best cars, your favorite cars, building your best of houses. I mean, investing and doing. What do you think is there's so much more. There is an expectation on your head. That's all I want to tell you. All right? So are you truly reflecting eternal expectations? Now, I want you to understand that before even talking about what God has entrusted into your hands, or our focal point should be centered around us reflecting and coming to the fullness of Christ in person and in principles. I think 2 Corinthians chapter 3, I think from verse 17 to 18, he said we are beholding him as in a glass. Consistently, we are supposed to be reflecting God. Yes, it could be very difficult, but on a daily basis, something should leave you and then something should be added to your life. On a daily basis, the totality of your existence should be reflecting Jesus Christ. Yes, sir. Believe me. So we should be reflecting, or something around us, or be our focal point should be centered around reflecting and coming to the fullness of Christ in person and in principle. So there's a person of Christ and there is a principles of Jesus Christ, and then you need to come to a realization of this. So are you a Christian? Is a question. So by the time we have carefully answered this very question, our problems are almost solved, because the true test of Christianity is that you must reflect Christ in person and in principles. When I'm in the person of Jesus Christ, I'm talking about the totality of Jesus Christ, and then the true nature of Jesus Christ. What makes God God? That's what I'm talking about, the person. And then when we talk about the principles, we talk about the commandments, the rules, rules, the regulation to navigate this earth in his light. Okay, so the truth of this whole matter is that Jesus Christ will always call us to first be with him before asking us to do any assignment for him. So in staying with Jesus, we are gradually and consistently framed into his pattern and the fullness of his totality. So you have to stay with Jesus, child of God. You have to stay with God no matter what. You have to stay with him in everything. You have to stay with him. So Jesus Christ will not just call you and then give you an assignment. You have to sit down to learn at his feet. You have to learn about his person. You have to learn about his principles. Okay, it is very, very important. All right, so you must stay with Jesus Christ enough in order to learn the ways of the kingdom, because if Jesus Christ has not taught you enough, you will eventually be a student of another tutor, yes, which will eventually conform you to the frivolities of time. So if you are a student of another tutor, I tell you the truth, you will be automatically conforming, or you will be automatically conforming to the frivolities of time, because any other tutor outside the Christ, outside the Spirit of God, is the prince of this world, and the prince of this world makes you believe that the totality of your existence will end in time. All right, so I hope you know that even as it is extremely important to stay with Jesus Christ, Satan also desires to make you his advocate. So I will tell you, stay with Jesus Christ so that you will not be frivolous about life. So it is extreme lack of affinity with Jesus Christ that makes a man think that the totality of his life is about time and there is no eternal expression. And when there is no eternal expression, I tell you the truth, you are a waste in time. Okay, so like I said, the totality of your life must reflect eternal emphasis, eternal expectations, or eternal expressions. So the fact that you're living on earth is not just enough. You must be very, very careful. You must be very, very careful. I mean, you must be very, 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 very careful to make sure that you are reflecting eternal relevance. Okay, you must be very careful. So there is more to life than all with one earth. So remember that you will give an account of all your transactions on earth. Also remember that your life in time was alone and there is a payback time. And why is it that you are not conscious of the very transactions in time, seeing that there is a payback time? So I tell you, you must be very conscious about the transactions you are dabbling yourself into in time, because there is a payback time. Remember that life on earth is alone. You were asked to come here and reflect something, and by the end of time, by the end of days, I tell you nothing but the truth, you are going to pay back. Okay, so the question is, are you a Christian? What is your relationship with the one that gave you to earth to represent him? Do you know him? So child of God, there is more to life than frivolous living. There is more to life than recklessness. We need to go back to the eternal pathway and begin to express eternity. So this is the totality of our podcast episode today. Do you know the one that sent you here? Do you know him? Do you know him? What was the assignment? What were you asked to come and do in time? I tell you nothing but the truth. If you have answered these questions, you have solved almost half of your problems. Yes, we need to be very careful. Do you know him? What is life like? What is your interactions with him like? Because I tell you, life is alone. Life here on earth is alone, and I tell you, you must pay back. You must pay back. So you should learn to reflect eternal purpose.